Hi YouTube, I thought I would do a bit of a different style video today. It's Monday, so it's a holiday today, so I like to get caught up on like filming and content and stuff, but I thought I would do like, instead of a typical pop-up vlog, because honestly I didn't get that much content for the pop-up. I feel like I only like introed and outroed and got like a few minutes in between. So I thought I would do how much the pop-up cost us, because I feel like I'm always interested in other brands like activations, what their budgets are. So I thought I would just walk through everything and let you guys know the like general range of what we paid to execute our pop-up. So the most, don't mind Leo snorting, he's playing right now, but the biggest expense that we had was the space. So the space we upgraded this year from last year. So last year our space was small, but we had to do installs in it. So I don't know if you guys saw what last year looked like. I'll put a photo on the screen here, but it was like 800 square feet. The walls were all concrete, so we had to build wall installations. So we had like 16 8 feet tall, 4 feet wide walls that basically we just like built an entire install. So we upgraded our space. We spent a lot more on space this year. Last year I think we paid like $1,000 for our space. This year we paid $8,000, which really hurt, and like we were struggling in doing that because there's like not a lot of spaces in Toronto. $8,000 was like way over budget for what we were allocating to the space, but luckily the area was beautiful. It was like very open. It was like 3,000 square feet. Like it was huge. There was an upstairs, so there were a lot of benefits to it. It was like right on Queen West. It was a really good location. So I like talked myself into it just because there was no other spaces that would have matched our brand identity and like really let us execute what we wanted to. So we bit the bullet. And we're actually having another event there at the end of this month. So it did work out well. It's expensive, but I think that's just kind of like the name of the game. It definitely hurt because I was looking into that space at the same time that we were exploring doing a pop-up in New York City. And I think it was like, I mean, it was a smaller space, but in Soho, like right in the heart of, I guess, like the shopping area in Soho, it was like $5,000, I think, for a week. And we had our pop-up for Friday to Sunday. So we had it overnight, basically Friday morning to Sunday night. So yeah, the space was beautiful. It was just like our biggest expense. So that definitely hurt a bit, but you know, it let us execute how we needed to. Moving on from that, we had to rent a truck on the Friday to bring all of our everything basically to the pop-up from like basically Burlington to Toronto, and then we had to rent the truck again on Sunday to bring everything home. So we did that from U-Haul. The total for both trucks was $380, not including gas. If you include gas, I'm gonna average it was about $500. So that was expensive, but I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it wasn't awful. And then all of our promotional products, so like the window clings, which were like all the posters on the outside on our windows that said like pop up. We had 18 large posters inside, so all the poster prints. We had like a community wall inside as well with like a bunch of members of our community in their clips, so those were also poster prints. We had our A-frame sign outside, which needed like 2 poster board inserts in it. I think that was like the bulk of it. So for all those prints it was $1,400, which also again hurt, but I think that's just like the name of the game. They're big pieces and, you know, promotional, so that was the cost of all of those. Now separately we had the IKEA purchases. So IKEA, we had to get frames for all those 18 posters. These frames were awful, but I paid like I think $18 a frame, so like we could only expect so much. One of them actually fell off the wall and it was awful. It was like the second time it fell off the wall, so they were just like not good prints or not good frames, and we had to like tape the back of them so that they would like stay on the wall even though they were still hanging from a hook. So that sucked. I don't have the exact receipt, but 18 of them at, I think, what did I say? They were like 18-ish each, about $350 in posters, or I guess frames, sorry. And then all of the shelves, we had 22 of the large IKEA shelves and then 2 of the smaller IKEA shelves. And I think those with the frames and delivery came to around $1,500. And then the 2 mirrors that we had for like the vanity section that said Good Hair Days on them, those are from Home Depot and they were $80-ish each. And then we had like a full body frame that was from Amazon and I think that was around $150. So those were like the main like bigger pieces of, I guess, like install, because this year we didn't have to go and do all of the install from last year. The only things that we needed to do, that is a separate category, that my dad built for us was the cash wrap. So the cash wrap is 7 feet long and my dad fully built it. My parents do like pop-up installs and like events and activations and stuff, which is super helpful. So my dad built that for us, and then the pick bins at Cash, which are basically just areas, I think they're actually called like dump bins technically, but it's just areas for like customers to go and like browse while they're standing in line. So we had our silk scrunchies, our silk hair ties, we had sculpt clip, exclusive demi clips, we had our mini daily clips in there. So just like little items that people might like add on. It was kind of equivalent to like the Sephora beauty on the fly area. So supplies for that stuff, I would say, I can't exactly remember, but I want to say close to around 500, just with like hardware, paint, the boards, the cuts, renting a truck to pick them up. Like before, this was all before the event, maybe like $500 to $800 for those. Moving on, the film from the event, we got a few rolls of film, and then getting that developed as well. Not expensive, but I mean, it's like a promotional cost. It was, for the film and getting it developed, it was around $120, $130, but it turned out really well. I'll insert a few of them here. I got some founder photos before the event because I have like no photos, so I thought it was like a good space to do so. Got a lot of pictures of our customers, which was really fun. We love using content from our events, especially film content, in like socials, email, all that stuff. I think it's really fun to look back on. We also got some like just general photos of the space. I shot basically everything on either my Canon AE1 program that I found at Value Village for $20. They go for like, I think $350. Or my Canon, I have like a Canon point and shoot film camera. So we shot on those, and really happy with all the film and how it turned out. Moving on, transaction fees. This is like a pretty standard expense. I mean, you're gonna pay with anything. They were around $700. That's just like credit card processing and just transaction fees. That's what like our payment processor shows. And then with that, the hardware for like processing payment, that one unfortunately was more than it should have been. So we got 2 Shopify card readers, and then Shopify ended up holding our payouts, and we last minute had to switch from Shopify to Square. So we also had to buy 2 Square readers, and Shopify is not letting us return the card holder or the card readers because it was like past 30 days, even though like they weren't working, basically, because we would maybe not even get our payouts. So we kind of had to get like double the hardware. So the hardware was around $400 for like card processing. COGS, I'm not going to tell you COGS, that's confidential, but yeah, we have to take COGS into account. For those who don't know, that's like cost of goods sold, so like the cost of the product that we actually sold. Also taking into account that none of this includes like wages or anything leading up to the event. I'm really only doing like things from that weekend. Costco, just for like snacks for the back room, drinks, that stuff, I honestly don't know because my mom picked it up for me. I'm just guessing probably $100. Amazon purchases and just like random stuff, I'm attributing like $500. And then I'll group together, I guess, wages, thank you gifts, like friends that were helping out, my parents, team members, all that stuff, and then like food at the event aside from Costco, like pizzas, coffee, like that stuff. I have a few different categories for it, so I'm gonna say that was around probably around 3,000. That's like ballpark though, because I'm doing this math in my head really quickly. And then honestly, everything I have on my list here, but I'm not done. I probably should have made this video after I was done, like my full cost breakdown. But I just wanted to make this video today. Oh, one thing I actually did forget was totes. So we had free tote bag with every purchase. On Insert Photo, they were really cute. And people were really happy to receive them. I think that those ran me around, I'd have to look at my purchase order, including shipping, imports, and product. It was over $1,000. I want to say probably around like $1,200 for the totes, but they were like fun and promotional, so that's always incentivizing for customers. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's like the bulk of it. Yeah, I don't even have the total right now because a lot of that was in my head, but I'll tally it and put on the screen right here. So that's how much our pop-up in Toronto cost us to execute. And I'm like gonna say that I feel like I'm very crafty with this stuff. So we do a lot of stuff in-house. I don't know, I feel like I try to reduce our expenses as much as possible because these events more often than not aren't profitable. If anything, you operate at a loss because they're so expensive to execute, but you have to look at it from like an awareness perspective. We always say we go into these not with like a profit mindset, but with an awareness an exposure mindset, because you want people, we had so many people coming in off the streets like discovering our brand, and so that was really cool. So I try to keep costs as low as I can because I know they're already so expensive to execute. And it's just crazy looking back at like, we definitely spent more this year because our space was 8,000 versus like 1,000, but the amount that we put into the build last year, like the installs and everything, just in like supplies alone was like a few $1,000s. And then last year we had an Italian soda stand, and we had like free floral bouquets with orders over a certain threshold, and like those promotional expenses were like really high. So I think that like things kind of like, it kind of balanced out a bit this year, and I really liked how things were executed this year. I think that it like just reflected our brand so well, and I was really happy with it. So that's like a general breakdown. I know that everyone's always so nosy, including myself. Like I want to know what other brands are spending and how much things cost. And yeah, that's our pop-up, and I would do it again in a heartbeat. It was so fun. I am so glad that we got to like meet so many people from our community. And yeah, I hope this video was very insightful. If you want any other like insider knowledge or like sit down and talk, maybe Q&A, anything like that, just drop a comment and let me know. And I hope you enjoyed this video.